In my last video, we looked at the 78L05. The ones in this kit are the WS78L05. I think the LM78L05 may have done better, but in any case, we fried one of these when I don't think we should have. So we have 10 of them that came in this kit. I dropped one, can't find it, but then we fried the other one. So I have plenty more to play with. But what this does, it takes a higher supply voltage than you want. Let's say you want 5 volts, you would grab one of these. And you grab one of these and it will provide 5 volts going out and to the load, even though you have a higher supply voltage. In fact, you need a higher supply voltage. What it does is it basically adds resistance in a sense, and that limits current but builds up a lot of heat. So according to the data sheet though, this has internal thermal overload protection, the WS version. The LM version also says that, but it also says that power is internally limited. So what that means is that it should have limited current as needed to keep from overheating. I shouldn't have fried it, in my opinion. But in any case, that is when I had it up to 30 volts. The WS data sheet says it's recommended to keep it below 20 volts. 20 volts or below. But in any case, I had low current. I thought I would be fine. So what we're going to do in this video is look at an integrated circuit, even though they look like transistors. It's in a TO222 package, a larger package. That's one reason it can dissipate heat. It can handle more current. But there's 2 of them in this kit. They seem to have a proper internal thermal overload protection. You're going to see that when I use it to power a low value resistor, it's going to start limiting current. You're not going to see it get hotter unless I grab my thermal camera. But in any case, as it gets hotter, it will limit current more and more to keep from overheating. So it's a larger transistor and it has a metal back here, which is connected to the ground pin, pin number 2. And that helps dissipate heat. Plus you can see there's a hole there. This kit came with I think 4 heat sinks that I've seen so far. It's a new kit. But in any case, you can attach the heat sink and then screw it down with a screw right there to help dissipate more heat. Now we have one of the L7805s right here in the same spot as a small version in the last video, but the pin layout is the opposite, so it's facing the other way. I got rid of all the other circuitry. We have a much higher power demand load right here. We'll talk about that later coming up. Here's the other one in the kit with one of the heat sinks in the kit and a screw right there to screw it down. Our load is a 5 ohm resistor rated for 10 watts. So this outputs 5 volts. You would think with a 5 ohm resistor you would get 1 amp of current, but we have a wiring system I kind of rigged together. I got some jumper wires that plug into the breadboard. I crimped these alligator clips onto them. So this is not extremely low resistance. It's going to add some resistance. So we're actually going to see a bit less than 1 amp of current, but I set the power supply up to a 1.1 amp, so it doesn't limit current, only the load and the connections do. I have the power supply set to 5 volts. I'm going to turn the power on, and getting to about 530 milliamps, you can see it's point right there, so 0.5 is 0.5 amps is the same as 500 milliamps, but you can see current's going down right now. That's because the integrated circuit there is heating up, and to avoid overheating it's lowering current, and so that's the thermal overload protection. That's how you know that you got that. And if I raise the voltage, of course it's having a harder time dissipating heat, and so because we got a higher voltage and it has to lower the current more to avoid overheating right there. You can see we dropped below 200 milliamps really easily at 9 volts right there. So that is without the heat sink. We're going to compare it to the heat sink coming up. So there we go. Now we got about 350 there. I think somewhere around here it might level off with just 7 volts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blow on it. And you can see right there the amount of current it let go through went up. So you can tell that when it was cooling down a little bit because I was blowing on it, that it was able to provide some more current without overheating. So now this is going to be way too hot to touch, and so I'm going to use the alligator clip right here, clip it, and toss that off to the side. Now we'll plug in the one with the heatsink. So the tab here is a direct connection to the ground pin, and so the screw will be a direct connection to ground pin. Luckily, the heatsink appears to not be conductive, but just in case, I'm going to keep it from touching the metal. I have the power supply voltage turned off at the moment, and I will plug that into the board, the middle pin to that gray jumper. We have the power supply set to 7 volts. Last seen I accidentally said 5 volts, meant to say 7. Now I'm going to turn the output on, and there you can see we got about 530 milliamps again, but it's dropping much slower, so the heatsink is helping keep it from warming up by quite a bit. Now some time has passed and it's still going down a little bit. We're going to increase it to 9 volts. So without the heatsink, it rapidly dropped to below 200 milliamps. As you can see, it's still going down. I don't know when it'll level off, but probably nowhere less than 200 milliamps. So you can see we can go to 11 volts. And so it's converting this extra voltage into heat. And so we got less current to keep it from overheating. As you increase the voltage, it has to convert more of that voltage into heat, and it needs to dissipate that heat. So it has to lower the current in order to do so. But there you can see we have to go all the way up to, it looks like 13 volts before we'll even drop below 200 milliamps. There we got 14. Let's see how it goes when I blow on it. There you can see it went up a bit, so that helped. But again, we're way above the power needs of what this load is demanding of the integrated circuit right there, the voltage regulator. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you check out one of the other videos I'm posting on the screen, and check out the links down below. They all help a lot. I would appreciate it. I'll see ya in the next video.